Legendary NFL coach Vince Lombardi once said, "Leaders are not born, they're made." Whether or not you believe this to be true, we are all very capable of being leaders. Some of the most powerful lessons in leadership come from stories. The stories told in the Bible explore Jesus' life and teachings. Through his narrative, we learn that leadership isn't about position, but rather connection, service, and transformation. This speech aims to explore servant leadership through the narrative of Jesus. Through my study of God and reflection on his values, I have discovered that his teachings offer a model for effective leadership. As I have grown in my journey through life, I've experienced God working through me. That growth has given me the confidence and calling to share this presentation with you. Today, I will be reading a passage from the Bible, John 13:12 through 17, to discuss Jesus' model of leadership and explain how we can apply his example of servant leadership in our own lives. In John 13, Jesus gathers his disciples for one last meal. Instead of demanding honor, Jesus knelt down to wash their feet. This act was typically performed by the lowest servants in the household, yet the Son of God humbles himself to serve his followers. John 13:12 through 17 reads,
This is John 13:12 through 17 of the English Standard Version of the Bible. When he had washed their feet and put on his outer garments and resumed his place, he said to them, "Do you understand what I have done to you? You call me teacher and Lord, and you are right, for so I am. If I then, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash another's feet. For I have given you an example, that you should also do just as I have done to you. Truly, truly, I say to you, a servant is not greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him. If you know these things, blessed are you if you do them."
This narrative in the Bible defines Jesus' entire philosophy of leadership. Not only does Jesus speak on serving others, he demonstrates it through his actions. In the same passage of John 13:12 through 17, we see Jesus redefining leadership in real time. After performing the humbling task of foot washing, Jesus looks to his disciples and says that he has set an example for them to follow. Jesus performs the role of a servant, positioning himself to lead others by creating a sense of trust and humbleness. His leadership is not based on authority or power, but on humble service. Jesus says that if you know these things, blessed are you if you do these things. This reinforces the idea that leadership isn't about knowing everything, but rather doing what is right. Jesus' leadership is rooted in the deep care for others. In a world where leadership is often associated with power and control, Jesus redefined leadership by embracing empathy. He calls for leaders to lead for the benefits of others rather than leading for a personal gain. Servant leadership is not just a biblical principle, but rather a leadership lifestyle. The servant is someone who submits themselves to a higher purpose, which is beyond their personal interest or the interest of others, serving others' needs before their own. These actions reflect the mindset of a leader who puts others first. A servant leader doesn't just tell others what to do, but rather demonstrates it in their own behavior. Leadership becomes less about control and more about influence. Leadership growth happens when individuals choose to lead by example. Servant leadership fosters a culture of respect and collaboration, allowing everyone to thrive together. Through the narrative of Jesus, we can all uncover what it means to be a servant leader. Regardless of our position or power, we can stand to make a difference by building trust and connecting with others. When successful leaders serve, people feel heard and valued. Today we have looked at Jesus' example of servant leadership. We explored the powerful story of John 13 to understand how he redefined leadership as service. Moreover, learning how we can live that out today. True leadership is not about having the holding authority. It's about caring for others, serving them humbly, and empowering them to grow. Now let me return to Lombardi's words. Leaders are not born, they're made. Jesus showed us the way. Now it's up to us to follow his example. to lead from a place of purpose and care for others. Thank you.